In this video, I will provide you with a few examples of how you can install a wood framed stairway with stringers, treads, and risers on a uneven surface. Now, first thing I want to look at will be to show how it would be attached to a surface that is flat. And I would use framing anchors like these. And again, you can use whatever you want. These require a drill that will drill into concrete. If you don't have one, then you might want to choose something else. So here we have a flat surface. Everything is straight and perfect. And here we have a stairway that has a slope going in both directions. Now, I've made a couple of videos showing how to build a stairway with a slope going in one direction, like in a garage. But someone said they needed another video where the problem was in the center, so here it is. So the maximum distance for a slope for a walkway is 1 inch per foot. So for every 12 inches or every foot, it cannot slope more than 1 inch. Now, I have seen that in a variety of different situations where that isn't true. It's almost like one of these building codes you don't need to worry about, because I see it everywhere where it's more than 1 inch, and sometimes it's even 2 inches. You go into towns like San Francisco, you're going to see that building code. And again, they can change it. They have the power to change it or not. But you'd always want to check with your local building department for clarification on whether or not you can build something or whether or not you'd have to remodify it. So here we have one. The rise at the end matches the rise up here, 7.5 inches. Up here, it's probably about 7 inches, and then we're back to 7.5 inches. Now, this is one example. You can actually shape the 2x4, whatever you're going to attach to the concrete, to keep everything flat. Again, just kind of throwing out some different options there. Or we can cut it. We can cut the plate, and then this would require the stringer to be cut here. Again, like I said, I like to throw out some different options there. Everything is nice and straight here. The stairway needs to be level. The bottom riser, whatever you're going to do, whatever you need to do to compensate on the bottom to keep the stairway level. Now, I pointed out that the rise on this is 7.5 inches. And so we would have 7.5 inches here. And you're probably thinking, well, can you have 7.5 inches in the center and then have 8.5 inches on the side? Well, that might not work, because there is a maximum rise or a maximum distance for a riser, and I believe it's about 8 inches. Sometimes it's going to be 7 3/4 of an inch, but you would need to check with your local building department for that. And public stairways are different. So if you have a public stairway too, it's not, if the public can use your stairway going into your house, that might not be considered a public stairway. A public stairway would be something more like a stairway you'd see in a shopping center, and that's going to have other guidelines you would need to follow. So I would say go with the, if you have a 7.5 inch rise, whatever your rise is, let's just say it's 6 inches, then keep it at, well, I take that back. If it's at 6 inches and the maximum distance is 7 3/4, then you could probably put the 6 inches here in the center and then go off to the side. So that would work also. If it's 7.5 inches and 7 3/4 is the distance, then you're going to have to put the maximum distance here and then go in with a minimum distance here. So I hope that makes sense. Now, what if it's going in the other direction? I went to the extreme here. You can, if it's a big dip, you can always cut pieces, shaped boards, and slide them underneath the 2x4s, whatever you're going to be using for your anchor plates here. And you can also use wedges too. If it's going to be maybe a 1/2 inch, drive a wedge underneath there. If you need to put some type of adhesive under there, caulking, sealant, drive some screws or nails in to keep it from moving, then that will work. But try not to have these anchor bolts or framing anchors too far apart. I mean, this one right here, if you do something like this, it might need one in the center. You might not need it in the back, but at least one here would be good to prevent this thing from going up and down. I've seen boards warp before, stairways warp at the bottom, and then when you step on them, you actually move the center of the stairway down 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch, whatever, and that wouldn't happen if you had an anchor bolt, something more towards the center to keep it from moving. So just kind of throwing another thought out there. There are the wedges, and in case you don't know how to attach the stringers to the anchor plate or the base plate, use some nails. These are probably going to be 16D nails. Whether they're galvanized nails would need to be used on the exterior. Regular green vinyl nails could be used on the interior. And that is it for this video. So hopefully it helps. If it does, hit the old thumbs up button.